A versatile athlete and a savvy competitor, Dennis Rodman dedicated himself to frustrating and disrupting the opposition.
Dennis took the responsibility of guarding the other team's top scorer all the time, regardless of who he was.
Here's Jordan at 1-on-1 now. Rodman won't give an inch.
He is truly the only person I've ever known that could guard all 5 positions. And I don't mean just guard them a little bit, clamp down and shut down.
In addition to his 7 all-defensive first-team selections, Rodman also won 7 straight rebounding titles, averaging a staggering 16.7 boards over that span. Quite a feat for a player not much bigger than a shooting guard.
Most people think he's 6'9", 260, and Dennis was maybe a half an inch taller than me at 6'6", 220, and he impacted the game a lot bigger.
There's Dennis again. He doesn't even have to score a basket to turn a game around with his rebounding ability.
You got to throw him in the category of some of the greats like Bill Russell.
Rebound Rodman. He's unbelievable at that. Best in the league.
Like a Wilt Chamberlain.
Rodman's tap is rebound number 34.
Because he used to dominate the game just on rebounds alone.
Oh, the dandy rebound from Dennis Rodman.
His defense-first mentality helped forge the identity of the bruising Detroit Pistons teams that won back-to-back NBA titles in 1989 and 1990.
Whenever we went on the floor and we were in deep championship playoff series, this guy would be in his own world about winning, you just saw it dripping off of him.
Read in the newspaper that he was out every night, all night, and to have the stamina that he had, it's pretty remarkable. He killed that you need a good night's sleep theory.
You have a little experience with that in there somewhere, don't you?
But I did try to get a good night's sleep every now and then.
You know, and Dennis went through these different phases as a player. I remember back in the Detroit days, pre-tats and all that stuff. And you knew him a little bit then?
I did. You know, in college, I used to always go up to the Pistons and work out with them and watch him. You know, this was before he turned into Dennis Rodman with the tats. But the thing that amazed me as a young player was watching a guy go through his practices, or sometimes after the game, and I go in the locker room with John, Sally, and Joe and Isaiah and talk, and he'd be on a treadmill or he'd be on a Stairmaster. And they say he would do an hour after a game. You know, so for me to see a guy that just played a game and his ability to go get on the Stairmaster for another hour, and then also playing against him. I never had a guy that I didn't think I could go around at 6'8", standing straight up, and laterally he could still slide his feet and draw a charge. To me, that was unbelievable.
You know, he wasn't the most skilled guy, but when you talk about the greatest athletes to ever play in the NBA, I think Dennis Rodman is in that category. When you think about the stamina, what you talked about, Charles, just the way he lived his life and to be able to play with that kind of energy night after night, the way he could run, especially early when he was with the Pistons and he would chase people down and guard every position. That guy could have been a world-class triple jumper or 400-meter sprinter. I mean, he was incredible.
And Shaq, this is a guy, too, who, I mean, you played with him a little bit in L.A., but playing against him, wasn't he? He's one of those irritating, get-under-your-skin kind of guys, right? Would it be fair to say, yeah, love having him on my team for what he does, but when you're playing against him, I'd rather not?
He was a great defender. He always moved his feet. The great thing about Dennis Rodman is he always did it his way. When I played with him, like, you know, you're supposed to be there an hour and a half before the game. He would come in with 45 on the clock, eating chicken and rice. And nobody would say anything because we knew that he was going to give us 20 to 25 rebounds at the game. And so, you know, he did it his way. He rode the treadmill after the game. And, you know, Steve was right. He was a phenomenal athlete. Phenomenal. You know, Ernie, I saw that irritating problem. Because Michael used to joke to me all the time. What I would do is, I just punch him as hard as I could at the beginning of the game, and he would leave you alone.
Yeah, you sure would.
He would. You just had, because Michael used to, Charles, why you keep doing that? I said, dude, he stopped, because he stops irritating you and bugging you once you clock him. I would just punch him as hard as I could, like in the first 5 minutes of the game.
He gave me my first job, Country Day. He used to go play video games. When I was in high school, he'd be up there playing video games with kids in the arcade. You remember this? And so he gave me my first job. I go up, he's like, you want to come up and camp? I'm like, yeah, thank you, Mr. Rodman. You know, I go up there, he pays me, he's working with all the kids, and then he plays with us for 3 hours after. Just plays with us. He wasn't shooting all that, running and doing all that, but he played with us, and he didn't have to. It was other Pistons, other people there, and, you know, seeing his work ethic.
Followed Dennis' career, and I think he was one of the guys that kind of helped motivate me coming from a small school and knowing that I could make it to the NBA. He came out of Southeast Oklahoma, great rebounder, and I followed him and realized then that I had an opportunity to play at the next level just because of his hard work and his hunger and his journey that he had been through. This guy really fitted in with the bad boys is because he was a winner. He was a leader, and his basketball IQ is off the charts. And I had an opportunity to experience that playing alongside him. Everyone knows that, you know, he was, you know, a part of a great team, but they didn't realize how great a rebounder Dennis was when he was with the bad boys.
Right.
You know?
I didn't know either.
And, you know, so a lot of his individual skills never really stood out, but you know, when he was able to come and join us with the Chicago Bulls, we not only got the greatest rebounder of all time, but we got a basketball player that had a very high basketball IQ, and he knew how to win. It wasn't about just the leaders in Detroit, but they had a great piece here, a guy that was hungry and wanted to be known at the end of the day, as we know now.
Phil now, his whole motive is to get Dennis back in shape. Everybody starts running in a line, and Phil blows a whistle. Whoever's at the back, run to the front. Now, you can't stop. Whoever's in front controls the pace. So I tell everybody in that group, say, look, whoever gets in the front of that row, slow down to a fucking walk. We're just gonna jog and jog and jog and jog. Dennis takes off. Boom. Now, he blows a whistle. Now, we cannot stop until we get back in front of Dennis. It took us 4 laps to catch up to Dennis.
I absolutely believe that Dennis Rodman changed the Bulls. You know, in a system where you have great leadership, great coach, people who are very demanding of your practice habits, of your nightlife. You know, you have to give way to what Dennis Rodman brought to the court. Dennis was always going to be Dennis. And as long as he gave you 110% on the court, you can live with some of his off-the-court antics. And I just thought, you know, you had to soften up for a guy who was different, a guy who wanted to be accepted, a guy who already won a championship, a guy who knew what it took. And so at that point, Dennis was established. He was great. He was an all-star.
93, 94, and he's now your teammate.
Yeah.
And this is a unique cat.
Yeah.
I mean, he is.
That's an understatement right there, yeah.
How did oil and water mix?
Yeah. You know what? And I love Dennis. I really do. He's an unbelievable player, incredibly athletic. He was like Superman. Like he just, you know, just a freak of nature. A guy could run all day long, never got tired, and was like the Energizer Bunny. I mean, I loved having him next to me on the court because you always felt like, you know, you just got a warrior with you. So on the court, he's a great guy to have next to you. In the locker room, it's a little different story. But, you know, he marches to the beat of his own drum.
Rodman had 34 rebounds.
While a member of the Bulls or a member of the Pistons?
It was March of 92. I'm going to guess...
or was he with the Spurs?
He was with the Spurs, and he had 34 rebounds when he was with Spurs.
Oh, my God. Come on, Dale and Antonio Davis. Keep him off the glass.
Yeah.
Come on, Rick Smith.
But he didn't guard you, did he?
No. Well, yes, on switches.
Oh, okay. But he didn't. He would never. You were the best.
No, he would never. No, he's not that dumb. He's dumb. He was good, but he wasn't that dumb. He's not going to start off. Now, he might switch on a switch or coming off a screen, he might show out. But he's not, not off tip ball. No, he's not that dumb.
And he knows better. He had 6.
He knows better.
How many did Reggie have in that game?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and did we win or lose? If he got 34 rebounds, they better have won.
Rodman had 34 rebounds and 10 points. Reggie, oh, no.
Oh, no. That bad?
No. Did Reg get double figures?
Reg was 3 for 6 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and only 6 points in 36 minutes.
What the heck?
In 92? In 1992?
Rodman shut you down.
Oh, no.
He did. Maybe he did guard me that night. Oh, maybe I was ejected. Well, how many minutes did I play?
You played
That'll tell me a lot.
You played 36 minutes.
Yeah, then he guarded me. Oh, man.
I wanted this one so bad.
Ray Allen says, excuse me, I'm just going to chill for a second till you fly by me and then make you pay the price. That's patience.